sir? Food up, sir!
Welcome to the weird and totally unexpected facts about the classic 80s military comedy, Stripes. This isn't just a comedy, it's a guide to military survival gone completely wrong. With Bill Murray as John Winger, along with chaotic training, silly antics, and even an armed RV, the film has become an icon of 80s military comedy. But that's not all. Did you know Harold Ramis almost didn't get cast? Or that the famous parade scene was initially opposed by the studio? It might be hard to believe, but that's a fact, my friends. Here are 25 weird and totally unexpected facts about Stripes that you might not know. Can you believe it? The original idea for Stripes was Cheech and Chong join the army? This is an unexpected truth right from the start about this classic film. The first draft of the script was written with the intention of being specifically for that famous comedy duo. However, when Cheech and Chong declined because they were focusing on their own projects, the studio quickly shifted gears and changed plans. They decided to approach two other big names, Bill Murray and Harold Ramis, and rewrote the entire script to suit their improvisational style. Despite the revisions, a few jokes about stimulants remained in the final script, as a reminder of the film's little-known original origins. It sounds crazy, but Bill Murray actually didn't want to be in Stripes. He only agreed on one condition. Columbia Pictures had to finance his dream project, the film The Razor's Edge. Once he accepted the role, Murray became a true chameleon on set. He improvised almost all of his lines and refused to follow the script, bringing a raw, unpredictable energy that became the film's iconic element. Director Ivan Reitman exclaimed that directing Murray was like riding a bull in a tornado. Not only that, Bill Murray deserted, not in the film, but in real life. During production, he disappeared for hours, even days, without telling anyone. He arrived late, left early, and improvised so much that the script supervisor gave up trying to keep track of continuity. Eventually, Reitman gave up trying to control him and let him do whatever felt right at the moment. Reitman called Murray the wild card that made Stripes unforgettable and said his unpredictability was both stressful and brilliant. Although he was a co-writer, Harold Ramis had never acted in a feature film before. He initially hesitated to take on the role of Russell Ziske because he felt more confident in his writing abilities. Even Dennis Quaid auditioned for the character. But here's an interesting little-known fact. Bill Murray insisted that he would only participate if Ramis acted alongside him. This created immense pressure for Ramis. On the first day of filming, Ramis was so nervous that he forgot his lines. Fortunately, Murray continuously prompted and joked until Ramis found his acting rhythm again. Because of Murray's improvisational style, Ramis had to rewrite scenes almost every day, and he called the script a living thing. That's a fact, Jack.
That's the fact, Jack!
Did you know that one of the most memorable lines from Stripes was a product of improvisation? The line,
That's the fact, Jack!
was improvised by John Candy in the film and became one of the most quoted lines from it. He often used this phrase to assert something as an obvious truth or to definitively and somewhat sarcastically conclude one of his statements.
That's the fact, Jack!
It became one of the most quoted lines from the film and eventually appeared on posters, merchandise, and even in military songs. Some real-life drill sergeants even used it. Candy later said he was just trying to liven up a lull in the scene and ended up creating a catchphrase that outlived the movie itself. That's a fact, folks. Do you remember any famous lines, or were you impressed by any lines in Stripes? Comment below. The mud wrestling scene is one of the craziest scenes and almost got Stripes into big trouble. This scene used 100% real and very cold mud. It was messy, chaotic, and completely not in the original script. Reitman came up with the scene at the last minute and had to talk John Candy through the entire shoot because he was very uncomfortable performing it. Candy agreed on the condition that he could wear the tightest briefs. The scene took nearly a full day to shoot, and Murray reportedly ruined 3 shirts. The stench lingered on set for days. Amazingly, this scene almost got the movie rated X. Columbia Pictures had to cut some angles and resubmit it to the MPAA twice to secure an R rating. The original uncut footage is now considered lost. Warren Oates, who played Sergeant Hulka, was very serious about his role to the point where he maintained a stern demeanor both on and off set. Oates was an experienced dramatic actor and did not appreciate the constant improvisation and joking of the comedic actors. At one point, he pulled Murray aside and said directly, If you're not going to act like a soldier, at least act like an actor. Another interesting detail, Oates was an airplane mechanic in the U.S. Marine Corps from 1946 to 1948, reaching the rank of corporal. He also chipped a tooth during the filming of an obstacle course scene when Reitman directed the actors to drag him through the mud. To prepare for their roles, Bill Murray and PJ Soles had to undergo real military training. Initially, they were scheduled for 2 weeks of actual Army training to portray new recruits. But due to some production reasons, the program was shortened to just 3 days of basic training. Despite the short time, this training helped them gain a direct and realistic insight into the discipline, routines, and challenges of the military environment, allowing them to portray their roles more authentically and naturally on screen. This is also a common practice for many actors in military film genres like Stripes to bring vibrancy and authenticity to their performances. During the scene where recruits received their basic training haircuts, director Reitman employed a shocking tactic. He did not inform the actors beforehand that real military barbers would actually shave their heads. Reitman's goal was to capture their most authentic reactions to this sudden change. And indeed, John Candy, in particular, became noticeably dejected afterward. This genuine reaction provided a moment that was both humorous and touching, showing the surprise and sometimes disappointment of the new recruits. To achieve the most authentic energy and feel, the cast of Stripes actually lived on base during filming. This was intended to create a living and working environment like real soldiers. Things quickly became competitive with push-up contests, practical jokes, and many late-night beer runs. John Candy and Bill Murray reportedly led a nightly poker game. The actors even created their own temporary ranking system, designating Candy as the unofficial snack sergeant. There's a detail that few people realize. One of the background actors was actually a real drill sergeant. He was not at all pleased with the actors and how they portrayed their soldier roles. He constantly corrected the actors and even yelled at the director. The presence of this real drill sergeant added a layer of unexpected and authentic humor, as military rigidity clashed with the actors' spontaneity. The iconic EM-50 urban assault vehicle in the film was actually a modified GMC motorhome. Several versions were used during filming, but none worked as well as expected. One even broke down in the middle of a scene. Ultimately, it had to be towed into the frame to complete the shot. This demonstrates the behind-the-scenes challenges and the crew's ingenuity in overcoming them. For Judge Reinhold, who played Elmo, Stripes was his first film. He was very anxious and often stumbled over his lines. Despite this, director Reitman loved his natural clumsiness. And instead of looking for someone else, Reitman kept him. Reinhold's portrayal brought a lighthearted, humorous touch to the story of the chaotic military training. Notably, Elmo was reportedly the character with many humorous lines in the original script, contributing to the film's comedic and joyful atmosphere. Thanks to this, we have an innocent, lovable, and funny Elmo, leaving a lasting impression on audiences. Stripes is one of the pivotal works that helped Judge Reinhold build his acting career, starting in the early 1980s. John Larroquette, who played Captain Stillman in Stripes, had a memorable accident on set that left him with a permanent scar on his nose. While filming a scene, Larroquette accidentally ran straight into a door, causing an unintended injury. Nevertheless, this incident did not diminish his enthusiasm and professionalism throughout the filmmaking process. Additionally, director Ivan Reitman encouraged Larroquette to improvise lines, especially in a scene where Captain Stillman
Those muscles. Let's go.
Sees nude women in the shower room. From that spontaneous moment, he created the classic line, "I wish I was a loofah,"
God, I wish I was a loofah.
which audiences won't forget. The combination of the unexpected accident and this humorous line created an indelible mark on the film, contributing to Stripes' lasting appeal. One of Bill Murray's lines, though humorous at the time, is now considered controversial. The line, "Aunt Jemima treatment," was improvised by Bill Murray. He said this line in the scene where he is tackled by a wrestler in the mud. This line made the crew burst into laughter. However, today it is seen as one of the more controversial moments of the film. The scene of Stella and John being intimate in General Barnaca's house, where they climb out of the truck bed, was actually reused footage. That scene was actually from a later date scene in Germany in the film, which was also initially cut. The reuse of this footage shows the film crew's flexibility and sometimes frugality. Do these revelations change your view of Stripes? Can a wild comedy hide a deep message? Think about it. because the drama is still ahead. The scene with the English-speaking Czechoslovakian border guards is a prime example of unexpected authenticity in Stripes. They weren't actors, but real soldiers invited to play themselves. The funny thing is, one of the border guards didn't understand English. He just nodded throughout the scene, and this made the scene even funnier and was kept in the final cut. An unscripted moment became a highlight. Bill Murray's spoon scene, a classic moment, was entirely an impromptu creation. It was filmed at 3 a.m. when only Murray and a few crew members were still awake. The entire monologue was improvised by him. This is the clearest proof of Murray's natural, unpredictable, and brilliant improvisational talent. When all the soldiers gather to tell their past stories, there's a surprise. Many lines were improvised. This includes John's random cow-stealing story and when he called Sergeant Hulka Big Toe. This demonstrates the incredible flexibility of the script and performances, a true living script on set. The final montage of the film showing where each character ended up is a scene much loved by audiences. The surprising thing is that it wasn't even in the original script. After early test screenings, audiences loved the characters so much that the studio requested a "Where are they now" moment. Director Ivan Reitman improvised it himself, writing the jokes in an afternoon. Not only that, he recorded all the voiceovers himself for this segment, doing so in a makeshift recording studio built from blankets and pillows. The filmmakers shot several different endings for Stripes. Rejected versions included the team being court-martialed or the EM-50 exploding. Ultimately, they chose the version where everyone becomes a hero and the military quietly covers everything up. Director Reitman wanted to end the film on an optimistic note, bringing a sense of joy and hope to the audience. Initially, the mortar incident in the film was supposed to kill Sergeant Hulka. However, this idea was dropped before filming. Another humorous moment when Murray said, "Oh my balls," after accidentally hitting himself in a sensitive spot while putting luggage into a taxi trunk, was a completely spontaneous event. It was a completely genuine reaction from Bill Murray. Fortunately, Sergeant Hulka survived, and we got another unexpected line. A surprising and somewhat tragic fact is that most of the cast members appeared to be drunk for 2 weeks after John Lennon's death. John Larroquette later admitted that he was drunk during the scene where his character reprimands the entire company after they watched and participated in the mud wrestling. This is an example of how real-life events deeply impacted the film's production and the cast's mood. Can you believe it? A 9-minute-long drug scene in which John and Russell take LSD and are captured by rebels in the Colombian jungle was cut from the original theatrical release. This scene was filmed, but Ivan Reitman felt it didn't quite fit the overall comedic tone of the film. Despite being cut, the existence of this scene shows the bold ideas the filmmakers explored. Initially, the US Army actually supported the film, thinking it would be an interesting recruitment tool. However, that changed significantly when they saw the final cut. They were unhappy with the portrayal of military life, especially scenes involving nudity and drunk tank driving. This led to the Army withdrawing its support, a classic example of conflicting expectations and the naked truth being revealed. Despite having a wild-card cast and numerous behind-the-scenes incidents, the film was not expected to be a major success upon its release. But the opposite happened. It grossed double its production budget. Stripes achieved success by attracting a large audience at the box office, becoming one of the most beloved military comedies of that era. The film's enduring appeal also helped it maintain an important position in American cinematic history and paved the way for similar projects later on. Stripes' success solidified its status as an indispensable classic comedy in the military comedy genre. Furthermore, Stripes launched the careers of several future celebrities. From a comedy that seemed to be merely pure entertainment, Stripes became one of the quintessential comedies of the early 80s, leaving an indelible mark on film-loving audiences. From insane improvised scenes to unexpected accidents and bold production decisions, Stripes is truly a work full of surprises and intrigue. Despite facing many behind-the-scenes challenges, the film shaped the military comedy genre and left an indelible mark on pop culture. It continues to evoke childhood nostalgia for generations of viewers. We hope you've discovered the weird and totally unexpected things about Stripes through this video. If you love film facts like these, don't forget to like, share the video, and subscribe to the Weird Film Facts channel, so you don't miss other fascinating behind-the-scenes stories. See you in the next video.